Hello and welcome. My name is Christina from Empowered Creator. I am a mindset and conscious manifesting teacher and coach, and this is my YouTube channel. Here I talk about all things law of assumption, mindset, conscious manifesting, the quantum universe, and a lot more. And my goal is to simplify everything without the fluff. So if you guys like this content and you would like to see more of it, I would love it if you would subscribe to this channel, comment on this video, like it, share it, and stick around. Also, if you need any help with your specific situation, I offer one-on-one coaching, email coaching, as well as custom subliminals for whatever needs you may have. I also have some self-study courses about manifesting your specific person. So if you're interested in any of these services, the links are below in the description box. Click on them and they're going to take you to my website. With all that being said, let's dive into today's video. In today's video, I want to address something that tends to come up quite a lot among a lot of people, actually among pretty much everyone who is in the conscious manifesting journey, and that is falling from one state to the other, not being able to stay in one state, not being able to stay in your wish fulfilled all the time. A lot of you guys are very, very worried about that. So I want to ease your worries and anxieties a little bit in this video. So this is what I'll be discussing today. Stay tuned. So I know us manifesting coaches repeat over and over and over again how it is so very important, and it is, to stay in your wish fulfilled, to revisit the state of your wish fulfilled, to stay in the desired state, to revisit the desired state. There are many names which you can give it, but ultimately what we mean is that as a conscious manifestor, you're aiming to stay at a state where you're going about your life, you are calm, you are relaxed, you're not worried about your desire, and you have this positive expectancy, this deep inner knowing, this inner confidence that yes, it's going to manifest. Yes, I'm expecting it to come into my life. Yes, I'm expecting my 3D to reflect it sooner or later. Ultimately, this is the state of the wish fulfilled. How it manifests from person to person might vary a little bit. Sometimes it also manifests in different ways in the same person. Sometimes you may feel confident. Some other times you may feel calm. Some other times you might just feel neutral and even a little indifferent. Some other times you're just feeling blissful and full of love and full of joy and full of positive expectancy. All of these states, and all states that are similar to those, are actually great states to be in. And all of these are different manifestations of the state of the wish fulfilled. However, what happens when you fall off a state like that? What happens when doubts start creeping in? What happens when you're randomly watching something or you're randomly reading something and something ends up triggering you? Or if some friend or some family member tells you something out of the blue and that triggers you? What happens when you see something in the 3D, whether directly related to your manifestation or not, and somehow you get triggered, somehow you get reminded that your desire hasn't manifested yet? What happens when you find yourself worrying? What happens if you're having a bad day? What happens, for example, when you wake up one morning and you might have been in a great state for the last several days and you're no longer feeling good, you're no longer feeling hopeful and optimistic about your desire, you're no longer believing that it's going to manifest? I mean, these, you guys, happen to all of us all the time. This is especially common if you have a lot of resistance towards your desire. If you're having a lot of doubts to begin with, or if you're trying to create a reality that is quite different to your current 3D reality, or if you have circumstances that you perceive as very difficult, very hard, perhaps even insurmountable, and you're still working on manifesting the different reality that you have chosen, but the resistance is still lurking in the background, and so you have this roller coaster of states. One day you're feeling amazing, you're feeling hopeful, you're feeling optimistic, and then the next day you're rock bottom. So I wanted to make this video today to let you guys know that all of this is very, very normal. These state fluctuations are extremely normal. In fact, even Neville himself said in one of his teachings that there is no way you can stay in one state 24/7. We are actually going through dozens of different states within the same day. He said that it's even hard for him to stay in his desired state all the time. And of course, he said that this frustrated him, of course. I'm sure we can all relate to the experience. But the point I want to make in this video, you guys, is that this is very, very normal. Those fluctuations, that roller coaster even, can be very, very normal. The good news though is that the more you do your inner practice, the more you transcend things like doubts, fears, insecurities, the more you're working on detaching from needing that desire, from associating it with your happiness, from telling yourself that if I don't have that desire, I'm not going to be happy. There's no way for me to be happy without it. The more you work through these stories within yourself, the easier it becomes not just to sustain your desirable state, not to just sustain your state of the wish fulfilled, but to also bring yourself back on track when you fall off track, because you are going to fall off track. You are going to have times when you waver, unless you have absolutely no resistance to whatever it is that you're manifesting, in which case probably you're not even thinking about it much. You already know that you're expecting it. You don't even have to do any inner work about it. But if it's a desire to which you have a past, to which you have a background story, to which you have a lot of resistance, to which you're having a lot of opposing thoughts, about which you might have a lot of insecurities and a lot of fears surrounding that desire, you are going to have that resistance and you are going to have that roller coaster to an extent. So the more you work through it, the more you work through these stories, the easier it's going to become to keep yourself in the state of the wish fulfilled and to transcend any other states that you're aware that are not serving you, or any states that make you fall off track, any states that make you waver, and so on. So it's not hopeless by any means. And at the end of the day, it doesn't even mean that if you go from state to state, you're never going to get your desire. No, but of course, the more you can sustain it and the more you can bring yourself back on track from falling off track, the closer you are to your manifestation. And you're also going to see that when you hit that state, you're also going to feel a certain level of indifference. Perhaps not indifference, but rather neutrality, or a calmness that, yes, things are working out for me and I don't have to worry about anything, so I'm not even going to think about it today. And once you start hitting those states more and more consistently, you will see things starting to move very, very fast in most cases in the 3D, because the 3D always matches you. The 3D always matches your dominant states. So I wanted to make this video today to tell you guys not to worry about not being able to stay in the wish fulfilled 24/7. Shall I tell you a secret? No one can stay in the wish fulfilled 24/7. Yes, some of us who are more advanced might be able to stay in the wish fulfilled for maybe days on end. I've done it for up to weeks on end. But do I waver at times? Yes. Do I fall into the 3D trap myself at times? Oh yes, of course. Does anyone, even the most advanced manifestor, stay in the state of the wish fulfilled all the time, 24/7, every day of the week, every day of the month, and so on? No, you guys. This is not possible because we're also human. And things happen, and life happens. And sometimes even crap happens. So we all have initial reactions to that. And that is also normal. And I feel that the manifesting community is doing a terrible job in normalizing those happenings, in telling people that, you guys, this is normal and this is natural and it's okay. But your job as a conscious manifestor is to put your awareness on it when it happens and work through it and find a way out of it. At the end of the day, this is why these states come up. They come up because they need to be changed. And you are the one responsible to change them. That is your job as a conscious manifestor. But it doesn't mean they're not going to happen. It doesn't mean they're not going to come, ever. It doesn't mean you're never going to have wavering or doubts or fears or insecurities popping up. Of course, like I said, we're all human. And it also doesn't mean that you're not going to get your desires if you fall into those states from time to time. Of course, you will still get your desires. This is another story that you want to work through. The fact that I fell into a bad state or into an undesirable state doesn't mean I'm not getting my desire. I'm getting my desire regardless. I'm going to work through that state, get myself into a better state, but I'm getting my desire anyway because my desire is mine. So I hope this helps you guys take the guilt and the shame out of this whole wavering and falling off your state and all that. It happens to everyone. It's okay if it happens to you. It will happen to you most likely. And you will work through it and you will transcend it and you are going to come out of it much stronger and much more in your new identity and much more embodying your new self and your new version of self. With all that being said, I'm going to wrap up this video here. I intend that this has helped. As always, I very much appreciate you guys being on this channel, watching this content. I love making this content for you. And as always, I look forward to seeing you all at the next video. Until then, take care and bye-bye.